Moorhead police are investigating an alleged shooting after witnesses say two men shot at one another. It happened yesterday around noon along the 1300 block of 19.5 Street South. Witnesses say they saw two men arguing in an apartment building's parking lot. The words reportedly then escalated to fist fighting before both men pulled out their guns, firing at close range.
They were shooting at each other right in the parking lot. So, yeah, they were shooting at each other. So how nobody got hit or anything, I don't know how they didn't.
Police say that the suspects left the scene before they arrived and no arrests have been made, but they are still searching for those involved. No one was injured. The city of Grand Forks and the North Dakota Department of Health are holding a mass coronavirus testing at the Alaris Center today. The testing is for J.R. Simplot employees, as well as anyone who had close contact with the people who have tested positive for COVID-19 from LM Wind Power. The drive-through testing event will take place from noon to 5. Those needing to be tested today have already been contacted by state health officials, Grand Forks Public Health, or J.R. Simplot. Meanwhile, in North Dakota, one more person has died from the virus, bringing the death toll now to 14. 679 people have tested positive, and Cass County still leads the state in total positive cases. A total of 2,721 people have tested positive for COVID-19 in Minnesota. So far, 176 people have died from the virus, and more than 1,300 people have recovered. It is now 2 minutes past the top of the hour, taking that live look outside. This is, I believe, the view in Grand Forks, if that's right. I hope it is anyway. I'll go to Lisa Green here, and she'll explain it all for me with the first check of our forecast.
Yes, we are debuting a new First Alert Storm Team Skycam in the Valley in Grand Forks. So another great view here on how the weather is affecting us in the Valley. We want to thank of Economy for sponsoring our camera here. And you can see the sign there. And also in the parking lot and on the road surface, it's looking a little bit on the wet side. And that is because of our rain showers that have been affecting us here, not only in Grand Forks, but throughout several locations in the Valley. Here's a look at the radar right now. You can see showers down in the Fargo-Moorhead area and beyond. Grand Forks again has been seeing some of those rain showers, and we'll zoom in a little bit more. You can see there are some pockets here where we've got some rain that's looking a little more substantial. One little fleck of yellow west of Fargo, in West Fargo at this point in time. And I'm just going to move a little bit farther north to show you that there's a little bit more rain in northwestern parts of Grand Forks County that could be having some impacts on us here this morning as well. And in addition to that, of course, other showers in the region. As this continues to move through, you may have to get those windshield wipers going this morning and watch out for some slick spots on the roads, especially in those areas where we are below freezing. And that's the case over in Baudette and in Bemidji, where we're at 31. It's right at freezing in Park Rapids and Wadena at 32 degrees. Much milder to the west. Fargo's at 45 at the moment and 39 degrees currently in Grand Forks. So temperatures milder than yesterday after we warmed up so nicely into the 60s yesterday in parts of the Valley. We'll see more places hitting that 60-degree range potentially today in some of those same spots, southern end of the Valley, especially in the south and west. But you'll notice this afternoon in our planner here that we also have rain chances yet again, and maybe even a thunderstorm or two. In between, we may get a little bit of a break midday, but then more daytime-driven showers and thunder showers are possible. So we'll talk more about that coming up in your hour-by-hour planner.
All right. Thank you, Lisa. Investigators say they believe they have recovered the body of 19-year-old Destiny Avery from the Clay County landfill after a 2-day search. 27-year-old Ethan Broad is currently charged with second-degree murder. Court documents say he admitted to killing, dismembering, and throwing Avery's body in the trash. 26-year-old Andrea Payne and 22-year-old David Erno were also arrested yesterday morning, and they're currently being held at the Clay County Jail on accessory to murder charges. They have yet to be formally charged, however, and a mugshot for Erno is not available at this time. Destiny's mom says that she is glad that there is finally some good news in this tragic case, and she's happy that her daughter will be laid to rest soon. The House of Representatives expects to pass a nearly $500 billion coronavirus relief bill today. The interim proposal includes more than $320 billion for the Paycheck Protection Program, as well as $75 billion for hospitals and $25 billion for coronavirus testing. The bill was passed by the Senate on Tuesday, and the Republican-controlled Senate approved the aid on a voice vote the same day. But with some opposition expected in the House, leaders decided to bring back members for a roll call vote. The president says he will sign it as soon as it lands on his desk. It's during times like these when a community can be counted on to help keep people from going hungry. And thanks to people like you who are willing to give, that happened. Valley News team teamed up with the Great Plains Food Bank for a virtual food drive yesterday to try and help people out during this COVID-19 crisis. We hit our original goal of $10,000 by 6 yesterday, so we upped the goal to $20,000 by May 22nd. We're currently sitting around $11,500. You can donate anytime. Just head to valleynewslive.com or the VNL News app and find the button that's on the right hand of the screen. With social distancing, many of us are trying to limit how often we go to the grocery store. But when it comes to making meals, it can be hard to follow a recipe if you don't have everything for it already in your cupboard. But that's why we are learning about off-the-hip cooking this morning. The Valley Today's Abby Furchner joins us live to explain what it is. Abby, I'm intrigued.
I am too. I had never heard of this before until I talked with co-founder of Food of the North, Megan Meardle, and she joins me this morning. Megan, what is off-the-hip cooking? This might be a term that many of us are very new to.
Yeah. Good morning. Nice to be with you this morning, and thanks for having me. So off-the-hip cooking is a method of cooking that does not rely on a recipe. It is coming up with a meal that you're going to make based simply on the ingredients that you have on hand in your kitchen. So some of the methods to have a kitchen that makes you great for off-the-hip cooking is having a well-stocked pantry. I have some of the items that I always keep in my kitchen: beans, carrots, onions, and celery, chicken stock, a variety of different grains. And basically what off-the-hip cooking is it's coming up with a meal concept. So I'm going to make a hot dish, I'm going to make pizza, I'm going to make stir fry, I'm going to do a soup. And then it's looking to see what you have on hand that can complement that recipe. It's being creative, it's being industrious, it's trying to limit going to the grocery store and just using what we have on hand. Limit the amount we go to the grocery store, don't let food go to waste, make something delicious in your kitchen.
Yeah, and I know too, like baking versus cooking. Do you think baking's easier, cooking's easier? What should people maybe be focusing on more so right now?
That's a great question. Yeah, so baking is definitely a science. Cooking is an art. If you're going to play around with the ingredients in baking, it might not come out so well. Whereas cooking gives you a little bit more flexibility. You can play around with the spices and be tasting things as you're going. You know, once something goes in the oven, you can't really go in there and grab a bite and see how it tastes. Whereas cooking, when you're doing soups on the stovetop or stir fries, you can try a little bite of something and say, oh, that needs a little bit more of this or that. So this is definitely, we're cooking today. We're not baking. So great to clarify that.
I am so excited. We have pizza, stir fry, so many fun different recipes coming up this morning that you're going to want to stay tuned for. Pizza is going to be next here in a few minutes, and I am so excited to get this recipe, so you're going to want to stay with us.
I'm also very excited to see what we have cooking up this morning. Abby Furchner reporting live. Thank you very much. COVID-19 testing is ramping up big time in Minnesota. The price you'll pay to get tested is coming up on the Valley today. But next, take a look outside for a lot of folks, and you see it there. It rained, or it could be raining currently. Shiny surfaces because of the water. Lisa Green tells us who got some rain and who can expect more throughout the day.